Hello, this lesson is going to show you how to complete the basic moves and agent lesson. It's block 1, lesson 1 in the Coding Fundamental lesson collection for the Computer Science Kit on Minecraft Education. And this is the introductory lesson that will basically show you how to move around in Minecraft. If you're not familiar with Minecraft already, this is really helpful to show you how to walk forward and jump and just some basic moves that you're going to need to know. And then it also shows you how to use the code builder. So you're going to build some basic code to navigate throughout your agent throughout the lesson. To get started, you're going to sign in and start by hitting the play button. It's going to give you two options, the My Worlds option and the Lessons Library. So if you click into My Worlds, it's going to show you lessons that you have already completed and saved. So you can see today I was playing in Block 1, Lesson 1, and this has saved my progress. So if you've completed a portion of this lesson in class, this is where you want to go to find your lesson so that you pick up where you left off. You don't have to start from the beginning. If you are starting fresh, then if you need to navigate back, just click this little arrow here, and then you can come to the lesson library. So this is where all the different lessons are stored, and we can just come right to this search bar and type in basic moves. And you can either hit enter on your keyboard, or you can click this little search icon here, and it will open up the relevant lessons that match that query. And we're looking for lesson 1, basic moves. There is a touch version if you were on like a tablet, but for the purposes of the computer class, we are using this lesson here. Click there. And then this will give you a description and some objectives for that lesson, so you can read through those if that's helpful for you. And then when you're ready to get started, you're just going to hit Create World. This will typically take, depending on your internet speed and your computer, this might take maybe anywhere from 1 minute to 30 seconds to load. So just be patient. Don't click your keyboard or anything. Just give it time to load, and it will eventually open up your screen like so. A couple of things to take note of when you first get started is that there are some prompts throughout the screen that show you what it is that you need to do. So you're going to want to make sure you're reading that, especially if you feel stuck. There's usually little hints on the screen. So start by taking note of the yellow golden letters in the center of the screen. You'll see that says position the gold blocks in the center of your screen. So that's letting you know what it is that you're supposed to be doing now. And then in your left-hand corner, you'll see over here this list of different controls. That is going to let you know how to navigate. So W makes your character go forward, S makes him go back, A is left, D is right, space will jump, E will open your inventory, T is so you can talk or chat, and then C is going to be your code builder, and Shift will be sneak. So we can hit H to hide that so it's out of our view and not in our way. Now, as we navigate and look around, we're going to use our mouse to move our head. So that's the first thing that this lesson is teaching you, is how to look around. What it wants you to do is to look at this gold block until it bursts. Then it wants you to navigate over, and you're using your mouse to do this, to complete each block. So this one is pretty straightforward here. You're just learning to look around. Okay, once you've cleared that, notice how the instructions above your inventory have changed. So now it's wanting you to practice moving around. So it says move around by pressing W, A, S, and D, or your touch controls. So we're going to use our keyboard, and we're going to use W to go forward, A to go to our left, D to go to our right, and then if we needed to go backwards, we could use S. So we're going to navigate through this, and it's a little bit of a maze, and it's just having you practice how to use your keys to navigate around. So you're going to get yourself all the way through. Then you're going to be confronted with this staircase. Once you get to the staircase, see how that notice changed? It's letting you know that to climb the ladders, you're going to hold W or forward. So you're just going to walk right into it and it's going to climb it right up for you. Pretty straightforward. And then you're going to navigate yourself through this section, which I personally always get lost in here because I am not that great in navigating around. So if you find yourself a little bit lost, just keep going. You'll find it. What you're looking for are the doors to get into the lab. We're trying to find Dr. Barwin. That's who we're looking for. So here's the doors. Now you're going to open the door by right-clicking. That's how he opens. So if you have like a button you're supposed to push or you have to open a door, that's going to be the button that you need to use is your right-click. So the right-click is when you hold down and click the right side of your mouse. Okay. And then see down here, we got another button. This is going to open this lab door for us. So if you find yourself overshooting it, you can always hit S to go backwards. And then see how that kind of like lights up for me. I can right click and that presses it down and then this door opens for me. So now I'm on the right track. So just navigate yourself in and look at the upper left, how there's that chat right there. That is the chat letting you know what to do. It's telling you to go over and talk to Dr. Barwin. Now, if you need to see that again, if you hit the T on your screen, that's talk. So you can think of that as talk. It's really the chat, but talk. So you're going to hit T, and that's going to be where any communication you receive from the tutorial, if you need to read that again because you didn't read it fast enough and it disappeared, that's where you're going to find that information. And then you're going to navigate yourself over to Dr. Barwin. And when you're clicked on him, you can right click and then he's going to give you this notice here. So you can just read that when you get there. Basically what he's telling you is that you can close a window by clicking the X here, and then you can open your chat or coding window by hitting the C on your keyboard. If you need help reading this, you can click this little helper here, and then the system will read that out loud to you. So that's also an option if you need that help there. We're going to go ahead. You can hit the X to exit out of here. You can also hit your escape key, which is in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard. That's a little faster, or you can just click the X, either way. So we have done what he said. So now what we need to do is, if you're just sitting in this room and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Nothing's happening. Make sure you're watching the prompts. So press C or the agent button to continue. So if you are not reading that and you're feeling stuck, it's probably because you're supposed to be doing something to get the next step moving forward. So you're going to hit C, and that's going to open up your code builder, and you'll see your cute little agent pops up and your code builder pops up. Now, right now it just says welcome to your agent. There's no code instructions. So you can either use your mouse and point here and click this little X to close this. You can hit escape, or you can hit the C on your keyboard. All of those buttons will will open and close that code builder. So then you're just going to navigate yourself. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Into this room over here. Now what we're going to do is complete these short little coding activities, and this is going to teach us how to move our agent from this block to this block. This is going to teach us the very basic fundamentals of the code builder. So first thing you're going to do is figure out, what do you need to do to make your agent go from here to here? Well, he needs to move forward 1, 2, 3 blocks. So let's hit our code builder. So we'll hit C on our keyboard. It's going to open up our code builder. Now, unlike last time, you can see now there are full instructions on what it wants you to do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the on chat command block, and we're going to rename it from run to 1. So you could really put any words you have here, because what all this is doing is saying that when you send a chat command to the agent, so if you say 1 to the agent, he is going to run the code that you've built here. If it said run, then you would just need to type the word run. But for this particular lesson, we're putting the number 1 there. That just makes it easy, and you don't have to type as much really. Then what you're going to do is you're going to move the agent forward. So to do that, you're going to use this block code here. So you're just going to click on that and hold down. So you're going to left click and hold down and drag it into the chat command here like so. So agent move forward by, and we had counted 1, 2, 3 blocks he needs to move forward. So we're going to put a 3 here. So we're basically telling the agent that on our chat command 1, the agent should move forward by 3 blocks. In order for him to do that, we have to make sure we compile our code by clicking this green start button here. So we'll click that. And then we're just going to come back here. Now, if you're here and you're like, well, nothing's happening, that's because you have to chat to the agent and give him that command. So to do that, you're going to hit T. And I just think T to talk. We want to talk to the agent. And then you're just going to put a 1 in the chat block because that's the command that you're giving him to run that code. And then you can use your mouse to click on this little chat bubble here, or you could press enter on your keyboard and he should execute your command. And so now your objective in this entire room is to move him to these gold blocks, okay? So right now, think of how he's facing. He's facing the door, that gold door right there. If we were to put forward 3, he would go towards the door. So before he can go over to this gold block, what does he need to do? He needs to make a turn. He needs to turn left, and then he needs to walk forward 1, 2, 3 blocks. So he'll go 1, 2, 3 forward. So in our code, we're going to come back to our code. We're going to hit C on our keyboard. And we need to have some kind of code that tells him that he needs to make a left turn before he can go forward. So we're going to use the agent turn left code, and we're going to drop that right on top because we need him to turn left first, and then we need him to move forward 3. So this is sequencing. We have to think of what order does he need to do things in order to get to his destination correctly. So we need him to turn left and we need him to move forward 3. So once you have that built, you can hit the play button to compile your code. And then you're going to hit T to talk to your agent. And then you're going to give him command 1. And he should turn and walk. Okay, so then now you have to do the same thing. You have to think, what way is he facing? What's the first thing I need him to do? First thing I need him to do is I need him to make a right turn, and then I need him to walk forward 1, 2, 3 blocks. Come back to my code. So this time I need him to take a right. So there's this little drop down here. You can just make him go right. And then I need him to move forward 3. So I don't even have to change that code. That's easy for me. Then I make sure that I click this to compile my code. I'm going to hit T to talk to my agent, 1 to give him the correct command, and then enter. And there we go. And then one more time, I need him to do what? I need him to turn right, and then I need him to walk forward 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So to do that, again, I'm going to go hit C to go into my code builder. I'm going to have him turn right. He's already doing that, and I need him to move forward by 4 blocks this time, so I have to make sure I update my count here. Again, I'm going to compile my code, and then I'm going to hit T, 1, and then I'm going to hit enter, and now the area is complete. Now you see, once you complete this area, he's going to go into this room here. So you're going to walk into this room with him, and then you're going to get a little bit more of a challenging situation. In this case, our agent he can't go just forward, he has to go up, right? Because the blocks go up in this case. So for this one, I find it helpful when there's multiple things that you need to do to grab yourself a piece of paper. And for the activity through this wall, you're definitely going to want a piece of paper. But this can be really helpful to take notes especially if you can't hold like me. I can't hold like 10 different things in my head all at once. So it helps me to write it down. So for the demo, I'm just going to use my notepad here, but I would recommend just opening up or having a piece of paper and a pen. So I'm going to remember that I need to make him go forward 1. So I'm just going to write F1 on my notepad for forward 1, or you could write the whole word forward if you want to. Then after that, I need him to go up 1. And then after he goes up 1, I need him to walk forward 1, 2, 3 blocks before he hits there. So forward 3. Now for this one, it's not very long, but what you'll see coming up here is they get longer and longer. And so that's going to be the value of writing this stuff down. Because then I can come to back over to my code block. And let me get my screen adjusted here so you can see both. Okay. And inside my code box, see now I can remember what I needed him to do. I needed him to go forward 1, and then I needed him to go up 1. So you're going to use this same block. It has back, left, right, up, down. So you can use up 1. So he's going to go forward 1, he's going to go up 1, and then he needs to go forward 3. Go forward by 3. Then you're going to click the play button to compile your code. And take note that I didn't change it to 1. The command now is run. So I'm going to hit my T to talk to my agent, and I'm going to type the word run because that's the command I have set. And I'm going to hit enter on my keyboard, and then he should execute that command. Now, you can change it to a 1 if you prefer to not have to type the whole word run. That's up to you. You could change it to something else, but just note that whatever you have written as the command in your code, that's what you need to type to him to make him run that code. Okay, so I'm not going to demo the rest of these activities to give you so that you can have a little trial and error and work your way through, and then I will see you in the next room. All right, once you've completed this last activity, you're going to navigate forward into this room, and this is where the most challenging activity on this lesson is. So what you need to do in this activity, it's important to read all the instructions because it might be confusing if you don't. You're going to have your agent navigate this long path, okay? So you need to build the code to make sure that he walks, don't want him to go off the path. Make sure he stays on this entire path the whole time and gets to this plate. So what you might find frustrating is that once you've done that, if you're just standing over here watching him, it's going to tell you that you failed the lesson. That's because, and it's going to make you do it again. That's because your guy has to also run his path. So once you've built the code for your agent to get across this little maze here, when you run your code at the same time, you're gonna run the code at the same time you're gonna navigate your path, and you have a plate on your end, and you both need to be standing on your plates at the same time. I think it's 10 seconds, and that is how you win that activity. So this is where your notepad and paper is going to come super in handy. I promise you that if you don't use a notepad, it's going to be a lot more difficult, unless you just go back and forth. If that's more comfortable to you, that's fine. But I highly recommend doing this. The other advantage of doing it this way is you could compare what actions you've told them to take to your actual code if something goes wrong, and you can debug where you might have an error in your code a lot easier than having to fully retrace your steps. So to start, what I would do is just figure out what does he need to do to get across this path. The first thing he needs to do is move forward 3 blocks. So you can just take a note for yourself. Forward 3. Then he's going to be standing at this edge here. So he's going to be standing right here. So he needs to make a right turn. So you're going to make note that he needs to turn right. And then he needs to move forward 1, 2, 3. Forward 3. Then he's going to be facing this wall over here. So he's going to have to, and if you need to just arrange your body as though you were standing on that block, that can be really helpful. So he's going to need to turn left. Turn right, turn left. And then once he's facing the correct direction, he needs to walk forward 1, 2, forward 2. You see how I'm just taking him along this path and I'm writing down every action he needs to take. This is where people tend to get hung up, is when he has to go up. So just picture him going up, and then he needs to, once he goes up, he needs to go forward. So he's going to go up 1, forward 1, up 1, forward 1, and then he'll be standing on this block. Then he's going to need to go up again, up 1, and then he's going to need to go forward to stand on this block. So if you were to walk yourself over here, oh no, I fell in the water. If that happens, if you end up in the water, there's some ladders right here that you can get back up. This is not creative mode. You cannot fly. So if you can excuse him out of your way and get on the path here, you can actually walk this path and count it out that way if you're really good at navigating in Minecraft, which I am not. Probably as good as some of you at this. So once I'm standing up here, I can see better what the next parts of my path are. So now I'm going to need to move forward. I'm going to need to turn left and move forward 3. So I'm going to let you figure out the rest of the movements to get him to this plate here. And if you are really stuck, you can look in my comments and I'll put my notes in the comments of the video for you. But try to get through this the best you can to yourself. So what happens if you make a boo-boo in your code and it doesn't go all the way through? That's what I'd like to show you. You're going to come over here. Whoops. You're going to come over here and you're going to hit your T, and then you're going to tell it to run. And once you hit run, it's going to open this for you, and you can also navigate here. And then you're going to navigate this path over to your block, and your agent should be here. But see how he got stuck because my code wasn't right? It's going to tell me try again. That lets you know that there's something wrong with your code that didn't get your agent to where he was supposed to be. And he'll just kind of hover wherever you left him. So one good thing to do is to go look at where it appeared that he got off track, because that's going to let you know where there's something broken in your code. And then you're just going to have to go troubleshoot what did you maybe forget to have him turn? Did you maybe not go enough forward, enough steps, enough blocks? So you'll have to troubleshoot that. And then to reset him, this is the part that is really important. You're going to want to reset him if he's not in the right place. So to do that, you need your little remote control radio thing. And to get to that, if you hit E, that's going to open up your inventory. And then you can take this radio and kind of just drag it out into your workspace. And you'll see it kind of hover right there. If you hit escape, you'll be back to where you belong. You'll see your little radio is hanging out with you. Then you're going to right click twice, and that's going to reset your activity. You'll put him back, and then you can go fix your code and then try again until you get it correct. And once you're done, that'll complete this world, and you'll know that you've done it correctly because it'll let you know that you completed it. But then there'll be little turtles swimming around in here, and that's how you know that you're done. And then that will conclude the full scope of this activity. All right, good luck.